Colder.
Cold. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's cold here as well since yesterday. Uh, and good to have you back. And uh, Pankuri will join us next week because she's a little unwell. She's a bit under the weather.
It's 5 degree here.
Yeah, come again, Vashi. It's
It's 5 degree.
5 degrees. Okay, 5 degrees. That's really cold. Yeah, it's 11. It's 11 degrees here. Ask Noelia. Ask Noelia, and you'll be surprised.
My weather, -10.
-10.
Yeah.
-10. Hey, Alejandro.
Hello, teacher.
Okay. -10. I
I
was
was thinking it would be 15, 16, and since they're -10.
yeah, exactly. She's in Canada, and some days ago it was -23. Okay.
Yeah, right now it's not bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
And the funniest part, imagine this, Kuchi. They have they have a heater in the house, so the temperature inside the house is quite warm. So when they step out of the house, their body goes through a change of, nearly 30 degrees, 40 degrees change. Because inside the room, they are in plus 20 degrees. And when they go out, they are in -10, -15. So there is a change of nearly 35 degrees in temperature. And their body is used to it. Imagine if we do it here, we are going to be sick.
Actually, I think the funniest part is that we have that temperature in here when we are actually in one of the warmer, one of the warmest, one of the warmest places in Canada because we are
Yes.
in the southwest part of Canada, and, and Canada is so long. It's really large, and yeah, that's even funnier. We
Well,
are like two hours away from the United States. Like
Oh,
it's not so far away.
all right, interesting, very interesting. The warmest part of Canada. Funny, really funny.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think they can use the word warm in Canada. The warm word doesn't
No, I
apply.
don't think so.
The word warm doesn't apply.
Winter, no, but like in summer, yeah, it's like 40 degrees. So it's bad.
It goes
It's
up
like
40
extremes. Yeah, yes. It's
Yeah.
here. It's extremes. Like it feels like 40 degrees. But like the weather is like 33, but it feels like 40. And here we don't have air conditioner, so it's terrible. And then, or it's like too cold outside, or it's too hot, like you cannot breathe. So
Wow.
yeah, it's terrible.
That's
Extremes are worst.
all their life they have lived in Peru, Lima, where the fluctuation in temperature is about 8 to 10 degrees between the summer and the winter. Okay. Like in the summer, they were like in 15, 14, 15 degrees, right, Noelia? That was the coldest in Lima.
Yeah, at night, yeah, like when I was in Peru, because uh 1 year ago, like at night, it went like 12, 12, 9 degrees.
Okay.
So yeah, and summer is like 29, 30,
That's it.
30. Yep, that's it.
So they have only seen a change of 20, 30 degrees, 20, 25 degrees maximum from 10 to 30. That is how it has been between the summer and the winter. But now -20 and +33 and +40, a 60-degree change. I think this is one drawback, one negative thing about living in Canada. You have to, especially in the south, right, where you have to bear extreme weather, extreme summer, extreme cold. Well, until I experience it myself, I won't know how people do it. how people handle it. So much of
Yeah,
change.
because a lot of India people from India are here and they are fine. They look okay.
Yeah,
They
I
look
know what
normal.
you mean. I
Yeah,
totally know what you mean.
yeah,
It
they
just
look
surprises
it's
me. And there are a lot of Indians in Canada.
a lot.
And one of her friends, one of her classmates, because she is a girl from, um, okay, it's difficult to describe her, nationality because she has Pakistani mother and her father is from Afghanistan, and now she is um, a citizen of Canada. So, and we are also studying the same kind of thing here, a world in one family. Can you imagine a situation where there are people from three nationalities in the same family? How can it be? Actually, it can be four nationalities as well if the child gets married to a person from another nationality. Well, it won't be a nuclear family though. So let's see. Yesterday we listened to 2.8. I'm waiting for Rodrigo and Gonzalo to come. They're not here yet. 2.8.
A world in one family. Nicholas.
So, Nicholas, how old are you?
I'm 21.
And you have an interesting background. What nationality are you?
Well, I'm British. I was born here and I've got a British passport.
And is that the same for your sister?
Yeah, Sarah was born here too.
But your parents, what nationality are they?
Well, my father's Brazilian and my mum's German, but they've both lived in the UK for 30 years.
And how did they meet? Was that here in the UK?
Yes. It's a funny story, actually.
Go on then.
Well, you should probably ask my mother about it.
OK, I will. What about languages? Your parents must speak very good English.
Yeah, both of them had good English when they came here, and it's pretty perfect now. But I do get to correct them sometimes.
So, what languages are spoken in your family?
Well, my dad...
The sentence was, I do get to correct them. I do get to correct them, okay? So this is one use of get to, which is interesting, to have the opportunity, the chance to do something. I do get to correct them. I get to correct them. I have the opportunity sometimes to correct them. All right. When you live in Canada, you get to experience extremely cold weather. Okay. Get to experience. You have the chance to experience. Okay. You get to learn all sorts of things about English in this class. Get to learn. So get to do something means to have the opportunity to do something. When you go to the zoo, you get to see lots of animals which you will not see otherwise in your day-to-day life. All right, you get to see. Why do I like going to parties? Because I get to eat variety of dishes. Understand? I get to eat, right? Somebody who loves food, they will say this line. And another person might say, because I get to meet people. Why do I like going to parties? Because I get to meet people, okay? I get to meet people. Means I have the chance, have the opportunity to meet people, get to do something. So he says, I do get to correct them sometimes.
Speaks Portuguese as well as English, obviously. My mum's father's German and her mother's Brazilian, so she speaks German and Portuguese fluently. And she studied English at university.
Wow. So are you and your sister both bilingual or trilingual?
You could say Sarah's trilingual. I'm sort of bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
My dad didn't make as much effort to speak Portuguese with me.
In British English, sort of is very commonly used. Americans prefer kinda. Americans use the phrase, the word kinda, which also has the same meaning. Kinda, kind of. And British people use sort of, okay? So they both have very similar uses. They come before adjectives. They come before words to suggest. When they come before adjectives, he's sort of crazy. He's kind of crazy. Yeah, you are using that word, but not literally, when you put the word kinda, sorta, okay? You mean something like that. So yeah, the difference is British people prefer sort of, and Americans prefer kinda.
And I'm not really fluent in it.
And what's it like growing up in England with a Brazilian father and...
What's it like? What is it like? Often, whenever you ask people about some experience, their opinion, you ask, what's it like? What's it like to live away from your country? You could ask Alejandro and Noelia because now they are not in their country, they are in another country. So how does it feel? When you want to ask, how does it feel? You could ask, what's it like? What's it like? What is it like? This like is a preposition, everyone. And after that, you put a verb for. What's it? What's it like? Living in another country. We can use 2 plus B1 as well now. What's like to do this?
a German mother.
Portuguese with me. And I'm not really fluent in it.
And what's it like growing up in England?
Actually, V4 is better because like is a preposition, and after preposition, we use the ing form of the verb. What's it like growing up without parents? You're asking somebody who's an orphan, okay? You want to understand that situation. So what's it like growing up without parents? What's it like, being married, okay? So what's it like? You want to know the other person's opinion about it, experience. You want them to describe that experience, okay? An Indian, 18-year-old Indian has become the world champion in chess. All right. I kind of forgot. I forgot his name. Okay. So what is his name? Yeah, you can see a message here. What's it like being at this age? Yeah, Kushi, that's a good question, Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what's it like doing something, all right? Being something, being in a certain way. I could ask you guys, what's it like, being a girl, okay, like this means you have to tell me what it feels like, okay? Well, I know you won't be able to answer it very well because you haven't experienced the other thing, like I haven't experienced being a girl, okay? But if you are somebody who observes things very closely, you might say something, when you observe how boys live, how girls live, So yeah, their lives. What's it like?
England with a Brazilian father and a German mother.
What's it like growing up with a Brazilian father and a German mother? What's it like? There are 2 different nationalities, 2 different cultures.
It's been fine.
It's been fine. Notice he says it's been fine. It's been. It has been. Present perfect. He's not only talking about today, he is talking about his whole experience growing up with his Brazilian father and German mother. And that's why he chooses the present perfect tense to answer. It's been fine. Okay. He's talking about his experience of growing up. So it's been fine. It has been fine.
I didn't think about my nationality much when I was young.
When I was young, past time, I didn't think about my nationality when I was young.
The first time I remember it being an issue.
The first time I remember it being an issue. This arrangement is important that you pay attention to. The first time I remember it being an issue. Okay. Okay. I remember it became an issue. Okay. I remember it being an issue. The first time I remember it being an issue was when I was at high school. Okay. I remember you coming into my class the first day. I remember you coming into my class the first day for the first time, I still remember you coming into my class for the first time. Do you see this, how I'm using it? I'm putting you between remember and coming. If I remove this you, okay, I remember coming, then I came. All right. So understand this. This is important. Let me write the sentences. I remember you coming to my class. So who came to my class? You came to my class. I remember you coming to my class. All right. If I remove this you, I remember coming, then I came and I remember. Okay. I remember talking to you. I remember talking to you the first time. So I remember talking. I talked and I remember that. Okay. So here the sentence was, the first time I remember it being an issue. I remember it being an issue. It here refers to his nationality. I remember it being an issue. I remember it being an issue. Here, it is the nationality. I remember my nationality being an issue. And an issue means, you understand, a problem, a matter of disagreement. For example, you walk into a hotel and it's taking longer, you're having a little bit of an argument type, conversation with the receptionist, and then suddenly the manager walks in. Is there an issue, sir? Is there an issue, sir? Is there a problem, sir? So issue means basically a problem, right? The first time I remember it being an issue was
at secondary school when much when I was young. The first time I remember it being an issue was at secondary school.
Okay, this is really important that you understand the use of was here. Okay, give me a second. Okay. The first time I remember it being an issue, and then I'm using the word was. Okay. The first time I remember it being an issue was at secondary school. So this was is very important because this is the verb of the sentence. This was tells you that it is a past simple sentence with be verb. All these things are just subject. The first time I remember it being an issue was, okay? So everything you have here from the first time to the word issue, everything is the subject. All of it is the subject. And was is your, verb. The first time I remember it being an issue was at secondary school. Well, I always played with girls and it was not a problem, not an issue. The first time I remember it being an issue was when I was 15 and I was playing kabaddi with a girl who was also 15. Her parents came and started shouting at her and me both. All right. Before that, I never felt like I couldn't play with girls, Okay, stuff like that. The first time I remember it being an issue, means I said that I always played with girls. It was not a problem at all. Nobody said anything. The first time I remember it being an issue was when I was playing kabaddi and I was 15. And the girl's parents came and started shouting at her and me both. and they said all sorts of things to us, that we were shameless, that we were playing kabaddi at that age together, stuff like that. Okay. Contact sport, like kabaddi is a contact sport where you make physical touch, like rugby stuff like that. So um, tell me, Alejandra and Noelia, are there sports in Peru, Lima, where boys and girls, play together, and even when they're grown up, it's not a big deal, or they separate? I know one reason why they will separate or they will play different separately is their strength. Boys are physically stronger. Girls may not be able to, keep up with them. So that's another issue. But in India, I think it's that's not the reason, right? Like even when they're 9 or 10, parents start kind of objecting to their girls playing with boys. Isn't that right, Kushi? Yeah. Even when they're 8 or 9 or 10, I know 15 is too old, but even when they're 8 or 9, parents don't like it. When their daughters are playing with boys, they ask them to just, yes, Noelia.
In our case, I didn't notice that because we all are mixed. Like except for soccer, I think it's like it's not common for girls, which is bad. But like the rest of the sport is like basketball, swimming, tennis, whatever. It's boys and girls together. Yeah.
Right. Right. Children sometimes they go out of their homes to play in the neighborhood, in the evening, when they come back from school. They play for an hour or so in the neighborhood. So some parents find it a bit objectionable that their daughters are playing with boys. I won't say all the parents react the same way, but yeah, some parents don't like their daughters playing with boys. Okay. I remember it being an issue.
When there was a World Cup. Fine. I didn't think about my nationality much when I was young. The first time I remember it being an issue was at secondary school when there was a World Cup. And my classmates said I had to choose which
My classmate said I had to choose.
country to support.
Okay, can you imagine his classmates saying that to him? He said, my classmate said I had to choose, okay? But you have to imagine his classmates saying it. What words did they use? They said, you have to choose, right? They said, you have to choose. His classmate said, you have to choose. He is not using those words. He is saying, my classmate said, I had to choose. This is important, that when you refer to somebody else's words, when you report what somebody else said, you need to make some changes to your, sentence, to your word. This is called reported speech. You might have studied this in grammar. Yeah, you need to practice this in speaking. My classmate said I had to choose. Imagine the classmate speaking. Well, David, you have not David. What is his name? The guy we are talking to? Nicholas. Well, Nicholas, you have to choose. Nicholas, you have to choose.
England, Germany, or Brazil?
So, which was it?
So, which was it? Which country did you choose to support?
I said I wanted to support all three.
I said I wanted to support all three. Okay, notice again. He says, I said I wanted to support all three. Okay, what exactly did he say to his friends, classmates? I wanted or I want? He said, I want. When he talked to his classmates, he said, I want to support. And here he is telling us what he said. I said I wanted to support all three. And these things are particularly difficult for Indian learners, Koshi. So pay attention to this particular part. When he talked to his friends, classmates, he said, I want to support all three. And here he's saying, I said I wanted to support all three.
Good job, really, because England and Brazil both got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
England and Brazil both got knocked out. They both got knocked out. Okay, they both got knocked out. Need to explain this a little bit to you. They both got knocked out. Just a second. I would like to have this on the screen so that writing becomes easier for you to see. Okay, they got knocked out. Here, pay attention to the verb got. Instead of got, we can also use, tell me what? What can we use, guys? Were. Okay, they were knocked out. In passive voice, I was attacked. Okay. Casually, in conversational style, we can replace this was with the second form of get. I got attacked. Okay, this is casual. Remember, a lot of times in the passive voice, instead of be verb, we use get. Okay, for example, another, they got beaten. They got beaten up. They got beaten up. Okay, instead of got, we could also use, as you know, they were beaten up. Got gives it a little casual tone, conversational, okay. Formal were, okay. Be verb sounds a little more formal than got, okay. So yeah, he says, England and Brazil both got knocked out. They both were out of the tournament. They both got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Oh, it pays to be multinational.
Good job, really, because England and Brazil both got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Oh, it pays to be multinational sometimes.
It pays to be multinational sometimes. It pays to be multinational sometimes. Yeah, it's beneficial.
Teacher,
Yes,
a question. When you pronounce knockout, you actually pronounce the K? Or
no.
do you,
Okay.
no?
Okay. There are two Ks, the first and the last K in knocked.
Yeah,
Okay?
I mean the first K, yeah.
The first is not pronounced at all. Knocked.
Oh, okay.
It is
Yeah.
not knocked. They were knocked. They were knocked. They were knocked out. K is silent.
Okay.
Whenever you have that KNOW, KNOCK, KNEE, K is silent. No, knee, knock. Okay.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I can't recognize the words sometimes when someone speaks like knockout, like, and sometimes I don't recognize the
Right.
word. But I know the word.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, knockout, it's the phrase is commonly used in sports when you lose in boxing matches. If you're knocked out, they hit you, and again, yeah, you lose the match. Okay, you're knocked out. In the sports like cricket and football and other sports, the word knocked out is often used when you're out of the tournament. You're knocked out. Okay. You lose.
So, has your background affected your career choice?
Has your background affected your career choice? Has your background affected? Okay, very important again, these two words I'm going to write. There is affect. Remember, it's a verb. And there is effect, which is usually a noun. Okay. So sometimes the background that you have plays a role in your career choice. All right. So we can say your background affected your career choice. Okay, plays a role. Okay. If your do you think your mental condition affects your learning? Yeah, it does. Absolutely plays a role. So affect is the verb, okay? Plays a role, makes a difference, affect, okay? Watching TV for a long time can affect your eyes, all right? And when we say it this way, affect your eyes, then we clearly mean in a bad way, right? Affect your eyes. And when we said your background affected your career choice, now it doesn't mean in a bad way. Simply, did it play a role? Okay. So affect has different meanings. One, play a role, make a difference. And two, to impact in a negative way. Okay. For example, smoking affects your health. Now, when you say smoking affects your health, you clearly mean that it makes you unhealthy, it makes you sick. And when you say, well, my love for language definitely affected my career choice. So here, not in a negative way, simply played a role, okay? And effect is a noun, the impact that you experience, it's a noun, it's a thing. The effect of COVID, the effect of COVID on your body, okay? So effect is a thing, it's a noun. Okay, COVID affected my health a lot. And the effect of COVID, I can still feel the effect of COVID on my body. Okay. So effect is a noun, affect is a verb. When you go to a very high level, advanced level, then effect can be used as a verb too, but it has a limited use. Effect can be used as a verb, but it has a limited use. Okay. So we can ignore it for the time being. All right. We will only focus on this. Affect is a verb, effect is a noun. And they are confusing. Okay. Pay attention to them.
I guess so. I'm studying modern languages at university.
So when the interviewer asked, has your background has your background affected your career choice? He says, I guess so. I guess so. It's another way of saying yes, no, I think so. I guess so. Yeah. When he says, I guess so, he's not sounding very assertive, yes, but yes. Yeah, I guess so. This is, look, sounding assertive is a necessity in certain situations, but in certain situations, you don't want to sound assertive or very confident because it sounds a little, not okay, off. So it's better, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think it is true. My background has played a role, has affected my career choice. I guess so.
Italian and German. I guess so. I'm studying modern languages at university, Italian and German.
Oh, another new language.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chooses the present continuous because he wants to say it's a temporary thing. I'm studying this. It will be over. I'm in the middle of the course. Basically, present continuous in English implies you are in the middle of something. That is what it implies, Kushi. Remember, okay, it implies you are in the middle of something. You have not finished it yet. Okay. I'm studying modern languages. He's in the middle of that thing. Okay.
Yes. I love Italian, and it's pretty similar to Portuguese.
And
It's pretty similar. Okay. Very common word, pretty, in conversation. Pretty similar. Very informal.
studying German must be dead easy for you.
In some ways, Italian, and it's pretty similar to Portuguese.
And studying German must be dead easy for you.
Dead easy for you. Very easy for you. Okay.
In some ways, but writing in German is still difficult for me sometimes.
Writing in German is still difficult. Okay.
And what are you hoping to do in the
What are you hoping to do?
future?
Good question.
Good question. What does it mean? He wants to admit when you respond with good question, you are sometimes saying that I'm not very sure that I can answer this question. Okay. When you say good question, you are actually accepting that maybe I will not be able to answer this question 100% correctly. I'm not sure what I should say. Good question.
I'm not sure yet.
See? See? He says, good question. And then he says, I'm not sure yet. Okay. So sometimes what happens, people take these words literally and they think that he's saying good question means he's appreciating the interviewer that he or she has asked a good question. No, a good question here simply implies that I'm not very sure I can answer a good question. Okay. So, yeah.
But I want to use my languages. Hopefully in a job where I can travel or
Hopefully in a job where I can
live
travel.
abroad for a while.
Or live abroad, not live in abroad, live abroad. Abroad is an adverb, okay? So you don't want to say I live in abroad. You want to say live abroad. I want to live abroad, okay, for a while. Okay, we have come to the end of this audio, and now it's time. It was the audio I played yesterday, and now I'm gonna move on to the next one where the interviewer will talk to the mother. So let's start. 2.9.
2.9 A world in one family.
Or maybe, but there are 3 people today. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we can. Would you like to practice the conversation between the interviewer and Nicholas? Okay, let's do it then. Let's create breakout rooms, and I'll share with you the audio script as well. Give me a second. 2.8. You want to practice the lines, and that way you will feel more confident if you understand it fully, and this will give you a chance to, you will get to realize if there are confusions, get to do something, right? You'll get to realize if you have some confusions, you still have some confusions. Wait. Sharing the audio script with you guys. Both the brothers are absent today. Must be some family reason. Okay. Remember, Kushi, you're not going to read the lines just for the sake of reading, okay? You're going to read them so that you could ensure you understand. So going slow shouldn't be a problem. Okay, read carefully, try and understand what you're reading while you're reading it. A lot of us Indians, what we do, we finish a sentence and then we sit down to think about it. Okay, it doesn't help. So we should read at a speed. While we're reading, we understand what we're reading, no matter how slow we have to read. Okay. A lot of times I've seen students finishing a sentence quickly and then sitting and thinking about what it means. And doesn't help. Okay.
It happened with me sometimes.
Yeah. We do it because at school, we are encouraged to read fast, even if it means mindlessly. Rodrigo has just arrived. What a good time for him to come. Hey, Rodrigo, welcome. Are you here, Rodrigo?
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. We are going to the breakout room to practice the conversation we listened yesterday. Okay, we listened to yesterday, and we are going to practice the same. I explained the lines to the people here. You were not. So just practice the conversation slowly. Read this conversation, the sentences slowly so that you understand what you're reading. And if you have any problems, you can ask your partner. Later, you can ask me as well. So, which two people will practice together today? Noelia, who do you want to practice with?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
Rodrigo.
Okay, go with Rodrigo then, and Alejandro, you practice with Khushi and help each other, okay?
Okay.
Rodrigo, you came out.
Yes, teacher, I misclicked.
Okay. What do I do then? I can put you back. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah,
Okay, let's practice then. I'm gonna share the audio script with you, and I want you to practice the same.
well, my father, okay, Brazilian and my mom's German, but they're
Telegram. Telegram. Where is Telegram? What's that? Should I? Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's practice. So you are Nicholas and I'm the interviewer, okay?
both of them, but both of them have good English when they came here.
So
And
Nicholas,
it's pretty
how old are
perfect
you?
now, but I do get to correct
I'm
them.
21.
And you have an interesting background. What nationality are you?
Well, my dad speaks Portuguese.
Well,
but
I'm British. I was born here and I've got a British passport.
Her mother's Brazilian, so
And is that the same
German
for your
Portuguese
sister?
family. And she's
Yeah, Sarah was born here too.
at university.
But your parents, what nationality are they?
Well, my father's Brazilian.
People say Sarah's bilingual, kind, so
And my mom's German, but they have both lived in the UK for 30 years.
And how did they meet? Was that here in the UK?
Yes, it's a funny story actually.
Go on then.
Well, you should probably ask me my mother about it.
Okay, I will. What about languages? Your parents must speak very good English.
Yeah, both of them had good English when they came here, and it's pretty perfect now. But I do get to correct them sometimes.
Okay. Do you understand this part, Gonzalo? Get to correct them?
Yeah, yes,
Get to correct them. Have the opportunity to correct them, right?
yeah.
Great. So, what languages are spoken in your family?
Well, my dad speaks Portuguese as well as English, obviously. My mom's father's German and her mother's Brazilian. So he speaks German and Portuguese fluently. And she studied English at university.
Wow. So, are you and your sister both bilingual or trilingual?
Uh, you could say Sarah's trilingual. I'm sort of bilingual. My dad didn't make as much effort to speak Portuguese with me, and I'm not really fluent in it.
And what's it like growing up in England with a Brazilian father and a German mother?
It's been fine. I didn't think about my nationality much when I was young. The first time I remember it being an issue was at secondary school when there was a World Cup and my classmates said I had to choose which country to support, England, Germany, or Brazil.
So, which was it?
I said I want to support all three. Good job, really, because England and Brazil both got knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Ah, it pays to be multinational sometimes. So, has your background affected your career choice?
I guess so. I'm studying modern languages at university, Italian and German.
Oh, another new language.
Yes, I love Italian, and it's pretty similar to Portuguese.
And studying German must be dead easy for you.
In some ways, but writing in German is still difficult for me sometimes.
And what are you hoping to do in the future?
Uh, Good question. I'm not sure yet, but I want to use my languages. Hopefully in a job where I can travel or live abroad for a while.
Okay, so a few things, Gonzalo. Why does he say good question as a response? What does it mean when he says good question? Is he appreciating that the question is good quality? The quality of the question is good? In English, when we say good question, we are kind of acknowledging that I'm not very sure how to answer this question. Okay. So when you think that you do not know the answer very well, you might say, good question. Okay. And it's not about knowledge, it's about opinions and stuff. Okay. Good question. Okay. Where you think, I don't know how I can answer that. What are you hoping to do in the future? Good question. It means I'm not very sure, and he accepts this. I'm not sure yet. See? So good question is not just an appreciation, as the word suggests, good question. It is an idiomatic expression, which means, well, I'm not sure how I should answer this.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I would like to ask you, he says, it's been fine here in this sentence. In the middle of the conversation, the interviewer asked, what's it like growing up in England with a Brazilian father and a German mother? Then Nicholas says, it's been fine. Why does he choose to use it's been fine? Which tense do you think it is? It's been fine. It's been fine is the present perfect, right? And why does he choose this? It's been fine as a response. He wants to say, Gonzalo, that when he says it's been fine, he is looking at his years of growing up as an experience, and he says it's been fine. It has been fine. Okay. The question was, what's it like growing up in England with a Brazilian father and a German mother? He said it has been fine. It's fine talks about present. It was fine talks about the past, but it's been fine talks about the past as an experience up to now. It's been fine. Okay. You could say, now that it is around 9 o'clock at night for you, you could say, my day has been good. Okay. So has been the present perfect, looking at it from the start up to now. Okay. When you look at it this way, you say has been the present perfect. Okay. It's been good. So it's been fine. And the interviewer's question, what's it like growing up in England? What do you think of the word like here? Does like means what we say when I say I like mangoes? What's it like growing up in England? This like is different. What's it like growing up in England? This like is a preposition. We often ask people about their experiences and their opinions, okay? Description. We say, what's it like? Okay. For example, you could ask Noelia and Alejandro, because now they don't live in their own country, they have moved to another country. So you could ask them about their experience. What's it like living in another country? So they'll tell you about what they think of it. Okay. You don't have a sister, Gonzalo. You have only got a brother, right? So I could ask you, what's it like not having a sister? What's it like not having a sister? It means What do you have to say about it, that you do not have a sister? Okay. Tell me about it. Describe it to me. What's it like not having a sister? Got it?
Yes.
All right.
Pero es que fue raro.
So what's it like is often used to ask people their experiences. Suppose, in India, there is a guy, 18-year-old guy, he has become the world chess champion. Okay, I think the day before yesterday, he won the tournament and he defeated a Chinese chess player to win the tournament. And he is now he's not number one in the world, it's still Carlsen. He's on number 5, but he's world champion because Carlsen did not participate. Okay, sorry. So I was saying, you could ask him, what's it like being the world champion at this age? No, you can ask him, right? What's it like being the world champion at this age? You're only 18 years old. You're the world champion. What's it like to be a world champion at 18? So he will describe what he feels, okay, about this thing. So what's it like is often used to ask people about their experiences, their opinions of something, okay? You could ask me, teacher, what's it like to teach a language which is not your first language? Okay. What's it like to teach a language which is not your first language? Well, okay, I'll answer that question. Yeah. Well, it's very exciting, honestly, because I know the struggle of my students. I've been through the same struggle, so I can relate to it. And that's why I never lose my patience with them. Okay. So what's it like? This is a very common sentence, question. We can ask, what's the weather like? What's the weather like? Okay, means tell me about the weather. What's it like growing up in England with a Brazilian father and a German mother? Okay. What else did I have to explain here? Get to correct them. Get to correct them means to have the chance. When you go to the zoo, you get to see a lot of animals which you will not see otherwise, isn't it? You get to see, you get to do something, you have the opportunity to do it. Okay, fine. I guess I can wrap up the breakout session, and I think I gave them enough time, or maybe they're doing it 2 times, All right, so give them a couple of more minutes and do you have any other questions about this conversation, this text here? Do you have any questions about any words or phrases?
No, teacher.
No, not at all. Very good. Okay. Okay. He uses the word pretty a lot of times. Pretty perfect, pretty good, Okay. Look at this expression here. Studying German must be dead easy for you. Dead easy. This very, very, very easy, right? Dead easy. Okay. All right. Let's end the session for them. They'll join us. What was the reason you guys joined very late today? Almost 40 minutes. Gonzalo. Welcome back, everybody. So I hope I gave you enough time to practice. Okay. What do we do next? 2.9. I'm going to play 2.9. Do you want the audio script in front of you when you're listening? Or maybe you would just first listen to the audio and then maybe check out the audio script later? I think we should test our listening, okay? And we should just listen without the audio script in front of us. 2.9.
Elka. A world in one family. Elka.
Elka. You're German, aren't you?
Yes, I'm actually half German and half Brazilian, but I was born and grew up in Düsseldorf.
And how long have you lived here in Cambridge?
Oh, 31 years.
And how did that happen?
I came to the university as a postgraduate and, well, I met my husband, Philippe. We met at a student party.
Nicholas tells me it's a good story.
Yes. I was standing near two men. It was Philippe and his Brazilian friend Lucas. And, well, I looked German, or maybe English, not particularly Brazilian. So, after looking over at me, Philippe thought it was fine for him to say to Lucas, quite loudly in Portuguese, "Oh, she is cute. I'd like to ask her out."
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He looked horrified and blushed like mad when I shouted over in Portuguese, "Well, you're not so bad yourself, so why don't you?" But then we laughed about it and spent the evening together. And, well, here we still are.
What made you decide to stay here?
Philippe got a job at the university, and I found a job soon after. It avoids deciding which of your countries to live in if you live in a third one.
True. Now, I wondered, did you choose Sarah and Nicholas's names because they're international?
Yes, they're common in all the countries we belong to.
And would you say that Sarah and Nicholas are both trilingual?
Sarah is. She's comfortable in German, Portuguese or English. She often switches languages without even noticing.
Now, Nicholas said his dad didn't make as much effort to speak Portuguese to him.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh.
We introduced it a bit later, but Philippe always used it with him. It's just that Nicholas kept replying in English.
Ah, well, I know Nicholas is studying languages. Has Sarah's background influenced her career?
Yes, she's a consultant for British companies doing business in Brazil, and she's often out there. I think she'll end up living there, actually.
And what do you think are the pros and cons of bringing up children in a different culture to your own?
I think it's a great opportunity to take the best of both cultures. People identify too much with just their own language and culture. But I do sometimes worry that my children don't feel like they really belong anywhere. I wonder whether it's possible to feel 100% English when your parents aren't English.
I see.
The last part was
2.9.
insightful, interesting, Everything has pros and cons, good side and bad side. There are people like us mainly, who speak one language, identify completely with our mother tongue, and consider ourselves, the true nationals of the country where we live, But then it also creates a divide, If the world has to come together, you have to bring all nationalities together. And what could be a better way than, falling in love, having children, those children will not be able to think of any one language as a superior or the other language as inferior, or nationality, by the way. So the world will feel like more like a small village. What globalization has started, I think people's falling in love with each other internationally. Yesterday we discussed this, didn't we? Kushi, you're not here, so I would like to ask you, how open do you think you are to falling in love with a person who's not from your country, and maybe thinking of being married to him and having children? This is a complete no, or it might happen. You're open to this idea. Your family won't really have a problem with that, and you won't have any psychological barrier to this, What do you think?
My father is in front of me. Better to not answer right now.
Oh, come on. Can you believe it? Her dad is in front of her, so she won't be able to answer. That's traditional Indian family, guys. Well, Okay, you could have said what your papa would think about it. Would your papa be open to having a son-in-law from another country? That's a
Should
big
I
question.
ask?
Ask him right now, right away. You don't have the confidence. All right. Okay, in some families in India, when they are traditional, that there is a kind of, gap. The parents, of course, love their daughters and children, but they can't really touch certain topics with them. Well, how fun, what could go wrong, Kushi, if you said to your dad, well, Papa, we are discussing this in the class. If, our parents would be okay with this idea of having a son-in-law from another country or daughter-in-law from another country, not only son-in-law, you know. Um, by the way, you could answer in yes or no. Are you open to having a partner from another country?
Yes.
For that, you will have to move maybe out of India. It may be a possibility. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So personally, Khushi is open-minded enough to accept it. She has to just depend a little bit on her father, maybe, because, sometimes in India, you have to value your parents' opinion a little too much. Like, how likely is it, Noelia and Gonzalo and Rodrigo, you could answer this. How likely is it that a child will, a person will change his decision of who he wants to marry because his or her parents did not approve of their choice?
Okay. First thing, my dad, my mom, they're not getting married with my couple, with my person. So why they're choosing my like my person, like who I'm gonna be with my whole life or whatever? Why they're gonna choose if they're not living my body, my her, like this is first. The second one, I just wanted to tell you, like my dad would say like marry, like get married with the person that you love, and also like he, I think, prefers international person rather than a Peruvian, or because we know Peruvian people are like weird, or I don't know, like some of them are like not like respectful and that kind of stuff. And I think my dad would prefer an international boy rather than a Peruvian. And yeah, and I think they mustn't choose uh, my person, and then
But
yeah,
Elia,
it's my
but do you think if you chose a guy and your
yeah.
parents somehow disapproved of him, they
Okay,
didn't think of him as a nice, they don't have a very good
okay,
opinion of him. Do you
yes,
you might change your choice because they didn't like
yes,
him?
for sure. Yeah, if my mom says like I don't like him because blah blah blah, and I say okay, I'm gonna think about it, and then I'm gonna like live with him, and then let's see if that works or not, and if it's like what my mom says, and then if it's like that, yes, obviously I'm gonna leave him, like bye. Because yeah, my parents have reason of like
Your personal reading of his personality is opposite to what your parents think of him. Okay? Your personal reading is opposite. You think he's the best guy you could find, and your parents see something that you can't see about him. Okay? And your parents fail to see what you see in him. In that case, whose
yeah.
opinion and whose reading would you value more?
I will value more my parents' opinion, my mom's, because I think my mom's knows better than I. So I think would yeah, my mom would like, but not like it depends, because if my mom says like I don't like him because he wears clothes like weird, and I would say like okay, but then I would stay with him because I don't like, I feel like it doesn't matter for me because clothes are clothes. So but if she says like I think he's for example very aggressive, and I didn't notice that, I was like oh, okay, so I'm gonna take that opportunity to say stop, and then stop going with him if I notice that aggression, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So Noelia is saying the answer is not straightforward. Okay. It
Yeah,
depends on what kind of objections the parents are raising. And if she notices some merit to those objections, then she will definitely value them. Okay. But
exactly. Like, yeah,
hmm,
keep going. Sorry.
go on, Noelia, go on. It's
Okay,
your opinion.
yeah, if my parents say like about like physically appearance, I'm not gonna do anything because I'm still going to be with him. But like if they say like I don't like his personality, I will say like okay, I'm gonna see if that it's like my
Yeah, you're
mom's
gonna think about.
thoughts. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it for sure.
Yes. Look, this is a pretty balanced response, I would say, because Noelia admits and accepts that her parents have lived life longer, they have more experience, so she will
Yeah.
not ignore what they say about his personality. But sometimes she knows that the problem is just the age gap, lifestyle could be different, so she will not value those things so much.
Yeah.
Very nice. And what I was gonna add, actually, have I forgotten what I was going to say? Sometimes in the middle of the sentence, I forget what I was going to say. I think it is the sign of being, aging, sign of aging. All
Really?
right.
It
Okay.
happened with us too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that happens to me very often.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Then it's not the sign of aging. It's just normal. Okay. Happens.
Yeah, don't
So
worry.
I was saying, yeah, I remember now. But Noelia doesn't want her parents to make that choice for her. She wants to
Mm,
respect their opinion, but she doesn't
yeah.
want them to take this burden of choosing the boy for her. She wants to take that trouble. She wants to do it, and this is looked at as a responsibility. In India, parents think of as a right rather than a duty, and they think they have a right to choose their children's partner, right? And they
Mm,
feel offended when this right is taken away from them. That is how they see it. Okay. They say, I raised you, I gave birth to you, I made you what you are. So you give me this right as a compensation, maybe, to choose who you will marry. Let us decide. And the more traditional the families are, the more strongly they want this right, and the more offended they feel if you take this right away from them and you choose your own partner. It's pretty interesting. And yeah, it is true that everyone, as an individual, is different. Parents don't know certain sides of your personality. So,
exactly.
how can you decide which person will be suitable for you? However, there is an argument in favor of Indian attitude as well, that certain things are not that important. What side do they not know about you? Your, private attitude towards certain things,
Emotion.
those things can change. Maybe, I don't know, this is what their argument is, but I think they are being a hypocrite, because it is true, a lot of people, married people in India, are not
Mm,
very sincere in their marriage. They're not very honest in their marriage. They are just living a life of hypocrisy, showing that they are married, but they're not really respecting that. you know it is also true. So
yeah.
don't know. It's pretty complicated, this topic, and very, very complex. Not easy to give a straightforward answers. But everybody here is open to getting married to somebody from another culture, another country.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Gonzalo, Alejandro, Rodrigo, is there a yes from your side as well, that if you fell in love with somebody from another country, another culture, you wouldn't really let that be an issue, and you will still go on with your relationship, maybe get married to the person if you think of them as the right person?
Yes. I also say yes because it's very likely if that happens in the future because I'm Canada. It's literally a
Yes,
country of immigrants.
totally. Totally. Yeah, right. Rodrigo, Gonzalo.
In my case, I think my parents will support my decision about choosing a partner, couple from another country, but they would give me advices, I think.
Oh, Gonzalo, something you want to add? This is the best
No,
part of this class.
teacher. Yeah,
Go on.
my parents don't have any problem that we have a relationship with other people of other countries. Yeah.
Right. Well, I was just saying that this is the best part of this class when we have discussions of this kind here, because everybody as an individual has a certain thing to say, and it sounds different from what others have said. I like it because I'll be honest, in many of my classes, when I ask people for their opinion on something, one person will say something, and then other people will start to, kind of copy the same answer with the same words sometimes, I understand it is because of their limitation with the language, but sometimes I also think it is because they have never given it a thought, and they don't really have an opinion. They're just saying something that somebody else has said without thinking it through, and that doesn't really excite me a lot. So, yeah, so good. Well, we are going to continue tomorrow. Oh, sorry, next week. It's a Saturday tomorrow, right, for you guys?
Yeah.
So we'll continue next week, hopefully. And Kushi, I can read your messages and I say, maybe you should Google that. I'm not sure if it is true because I know a lot of people from Middle East come to India, all right, and get married to girls in India, all right. So Google it. Maybe you will know
Okay, I
more.
will search on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do. And guys, 2.9 is in the group. Please listen to the conversation, the interview with the mom. And when we meet next day, we will talk about it. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye,
Thank
teacher.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Well, teacher.
Yeah. Night. Good night.